Hey, fellow YouTubers, welcome to my channel, AI Xology. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know a few of you may be familiar with some of my videos, my playlist that came out about Mac malware analysis. I appreciate all you who are tuning into that and learning from that. I hope you've been creating some fun virtual machines and playing around with some Mac malware. I promise you some more videos will be coming, but just sorry about being delayed. I've just been so busy lately, and the reason why I've been so busy is it brings me to what I'm going to be presenting you today. I literally just I was just practicing some machine learning, some data analysis, because my goal is to get into artificial intelligence, but I kind of wanted to get back and start into machine learning and data analysis. I've done this before a while back, but I wanted to continue in advancing in it. And this is just something a thing I was just playing around with today, just getting back into it, and I kind of came across something really cool. But before we get to that part, let me just kind of show you what I've been doing here. So for this project, I took, some what's known as structured data. So structured data it has all the rows, columns, and basically I used structured data from the CIA's World Factbook. I actually like this data you could use on here that they provide, which is really awesome. How I found it was this part. I always look out for the love data. The World Factbook has over 50 rank order pages, so that's pretty cool. So that part, I actually used the one that's called internet users. You should see it on here, internet users. So I used this data. The CIA actually has it all nicely neated out for you. um, I took it, downloaded it. You just click download, and this is what I have in here. I kind of been sitting on this, but I finally played around with it, and I popped it into Jupyter Lab. So Anaconda Navigator I used, and I clicked Launch Jupyter Lab, and it opens up in the browser, which I really love Anaconda Navigator. That's how I actually started off learning Python and classes, machine learning, data analysis. I learned that from a good mentor of mine, Chris Romano. He definitely has a YouTube channel on here. Definitely check him out. But anyways, talk too much. Yeah. So basically, what I did was I grabbed that data. I started off by importing the dependencies as part of a good practice for the methodology of machine learning, data analysis when you're about to start. I imported the dependencies, and I like kind of doing it this way. You don't have to, but I like doing it this way because it makes me know that the import succeeded successfully. Because let's say if you take this out and you just do that, um, you here, I'll show you. If you just do that, kind of get an error and stuff. And so that's why I really like doing you do the try, and then um, you do print, and if it printed successfully, it lets you know, which is nice. But anyways, getting off topic here. So yeah, so I started with importing the dependencies. Then you load the data set from the CIA World Factbook. So basically, a tip if you're doing this is I actually created a directory in here. I actually put it on my desktop here, if you see. So I put it on my desktop, and I believe it's under this project. Um, but anyways, you make the directory, and you want to make sure that you have this saved in that directory that you're using. Well, you want to make sure that the data is in the same directory as that. And I believe, here it is. So I made the directory actually under documents. So I made an internet user data machine learning project. That's just the name I gave it. You don't have to do it that. And then I included the CVC, the Excel data sheet from the CIA that you download from the World Factbook. You include it in the same folder. So that way everything pulls in nicely and you don't get errors. So we're just going to kind of like run it. And so I'm kind of like pulling in the data, as you could see. Then I do a def dot head, and I did 10 because I wanted to kind of see the head actually shows you like the beginning part of the data. So it kind of gives you a visualization of what the data is. And then if you want to do a def dot tail, you get to see like the end part of the data. So like we were at rank 0, 1, now the beginning of the data set, and now we're at the end of the data set because we did the def dot tail 233 now. So we could kind of see the data, it has like the internet users per country. So like, China has the most, and then it goes all the way down to the ones that have, the least amount of data. Not particularly it is in order, so they did a great job. The folks at the CIA did a great job at creating this data set and making it in order. So as you can see, usually during data analysis there's some cleaning up and investigation you have to do, but thankfully we don't have to kind of do much. As you'll see down here, we'll do a def dot shaped, to show the rows, the amount of rows, the columns. As you can see, there's quite a bit of rows, 234, and then 6 columns. So not too big, but it's a pretty big data set. And then, the columns, you define the columns, create a variable for that, and then you print the columns to show you the exact, helps you show the exact columns of what there are. Um, and see, as you can see, there's 6 of them. And then this is just another way of showing you the list of columns. And now this is def.info. So I like this option because it shows you, like, say if these numbers are out of place or if there's odd numbers, you kind of want this like same kind of number value. As you can kind of see in this one here, this is another data set I was messing around with Titanic data. And as you can see here, this one kind of has 891, and then this one has 714. So that means some data sets are off. But in this one, for internet users, for the CIA one, most of that is all set. So we won't have to worry about cleaning up that later. So that's kind of nice. And then, I did the def dot head again, df dot head. Um, and then we kind of want to do another df dot head. We can display like some more, specifically what columns we want to see. So this is just kind of me discovering the data. And then now we get to the data visualization part where I actually kind of wanted to see like the date of information data set. So I kind of wanted to see like when was majority of this gathered, like what date, or in this situation, what year. And it was interesting that I ended up finding out it was mostly in 2021 where all this internet users data was collected, which was kind of really cool to find out. That it seemed like 2021, I can assume that it looked like there was more in 2021 collected than 2020. So I guess you could say that the amount of people using the internet has grown over the years, which is makes sense because as technology advances. Um, but anyways, what the coolest part was, I kind of once I kind of finished, exploring the data, exploratory data analysis, which is also part of data analysis. I usually this is the part where you clean it up and then you could like put it into a machine model to train it. But for me, I kind of with this data set, I actually was more curious. And I actually, so I have a large language model on my data and on my laptop downloaded, which is Llama 3.2 3 billion, the 3B. So I actually I was curious about asking it um, about this data set some more because the information I was trying to pull here, I found that, hey, what if I asked the local model I have, the local large language model I have on my laptop, what if like I pull in that data and what if I can ask it and find out what the largest, like ask it simple questions that I already know the answer to from here, but just to say like see how that large language model, that local private model, how's it run. So basically what I did was I pulled it into here. I kind of have it set up where I have Olama and OpenWebUI, I believe it's called, set up. So I can, I'm sure you guys might have heard Network Chuck talk about this application where you can like have conversate with your local models, or even it's cool where you can create your own large language model, have a conversation with it, and train it. But anyways, so I decided I wanted to have a conversation with Llama 3.2 about this data set. So originally I started to ask it like what country has the highest value of the internet user. I found it particularly interesting how it said based on this data that I provided, it said Russia had the most internet users. I thought that was odd because I knew from doing my data analysis that, in just looking at the data itself, I knew that China had the more internet users based on that data set. So I asked it, what about China's value? And it provided me China's value. And then I said, it was kind of funny because I was kind of correcting the large language model, which was Meta's large language model, which is Llama 3.2, which is kind of funny. It's kind of interesting to do that, to have a conversation with it and correct it. And I told him, no, sir. I said, is China value greater than Russia's internet users in like the context provided? And it was just like, yes, China is greater. Because it's funny, because before it said Russia's greater, but then when I started to question it about China, like what about China's? Then it said, oh yeah, actually Russia's value is great. China's value is greater than Russia's. So I actually told it to correct itself and say that China's value is greater, which it actually did, as you can see. Actually, I should correct myself, which is kind of funny. So that's just something I kind of wanted to share with you guys. I'm trying to like post my machine learning and data analysis projects on YouTube as well, compared to what I usually do is LinkedIn. And if this was too fast, let me know in the comments. But because this is just something I found really interesting and funny at the same time, like, and cool that like I get to, you know, not just me, but all of you guys, if you play around with this, we get to like conversate with these models, and they're not always going to be right, which is important to know about these AI applications. And we can like, throw in the data and have a conversation with it and correct it if need be, which is kind of cool. So that's just something I wanted to share and kind of show off my project a little bit, um, and just kind of show off what I'm doing. But anyways, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a good night. And yeah, definitely like and subscribe if you found this useful or interesting, or if you've done something similar with this, and let me know if you give this a shot. Let me know how it goes. Anyways, hope you guys have a good night, and yeah, see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.